Hello everybody and welcome to a new race on Project Cars 2. This is the Apex Online Racing PC GT3 Elite League. The first season, of course, on the new Project Cars game. Season 8 overall in AOR of the GT3 leagues. And this time, for round 2 of the season, we are at the famous, the historical, the almighty circuit, the Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. I am, as usual, Fizzy, here to take you through the action, along with my co-commentator for this season, King Kodiak.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the beautiful forest of Belgium here at the Circuit du Spa-Francorchamps. We are looking at Perry Gronstra at the moment, cruising around in that beautiful red Mercedes. Now, I predicted the Mercedes were going to muller this, but apparently it's not going to be that straightforward. We shall see. The winner last time around is this man, Mr. Vernux, in his Tiger Ferrari, taking home the top 36 points from the win last week. We'll see if his skill holds out. We'll see how this circuit suits his vehicle.
VQ, yes. That will be interesting. Yeah, great start of the season for Vernux. Oh, we nearly messed that up though on the cab, just as I said that. And so did the BMW behind, actually. Everyone taking an interesting line. I guess they were just on their outlap at the moment, just warming their tyres.
So Popsy now leading the way. Stu has just jumped in. Look at that, 51 thousandths of a second separation of the Ferrari and the McLaren. Very nice.
Very nice indeed. A couple of other driver news, actually, just because I see Johan is in the chat at the moment, so you might wonder why. Isn't he meant to be out on track driving? However, he was given a qualifying ban by the stewards for that incident with Perry Gronstra last week, which he was deemed at fault for. Obviously, we didn't actually see how it started on our end. We just saw Perry off in the grass, but yeah, that's what the stewards deemed on that one. Also, 2 drivers were disqualified for track limits abuse after the last race. Johan also being one of those, and also James, the man we just saw spinning in the Ferrari a few moments ago. So those guys, unfortunately for them, have lost the points that they originally got from round 1, and will be starting fresh again here today, and hopefully this time they can get in the points, as we have McLaren blocking the whole road. Oh, and then Lambo goes by.
That was Stu actually in the I was just thinking, let's put a smile on Fizzy's face, let's look at the lemon Lambo, and he just had to jump back to the pits to get his lap back underway. Of course, Spa being so much longer than a lot of other circuits, if you do end up with a problem like that, then it's a simple case of you lose so much time. Just jump back to the pits and try again. I mean, it takes 2.5 minutes to do your round lap, and that's if you floor it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got 7.5 minutes to go. They're not having to push it that hard. Vernux has jumped back into the pole spot, breaking the 218 mark, 217.863. Yorkie, well, in the second and sixth. Vernux is. Vernux 216.9, so he's not.
How has he done that? A 216.9? What on earth? That's incredible. The lap time is just on there. Over a second faster than anyone at this point of the session. Yorkie, that's an interesting line at the top of our rouge there. Actually, as you mentioned the team, I'm going to just quickly, while these guys are continuing to set some laps, I'm just going to quickly show the team overview here quickly, just to show, because we didn't really touch on that too much last week. So you can see the team leaders at the moment is 5 Aces Esport of Vernux and Nismo. Vernux contributing all of those points so far. Visceral Esports with Jeff and Claessens close behind. EVR then with Stu and Morvik, also looking pretty good. Stark Industries with Macy and Hideaki. That's another double team. Road Runner Racing Inc., which you already mentioned. It says Godfather Shift and Groby at the moment on my graphic, but that should now be updated to Godfather Shift and Wycombs as of this race. Your X Racing, you can probably guess who are in that team. Yorkie and Anvex in the BMW. Then Forza Ferrari with 1 point with Rillo and Buanshire, and then 3 one-man teams at the bottom there. Andreas Hayder in the Mad Eagle team, James in the Team Momentum team, and actually that's 2 drivers there as well in the BMW Motorsport team, Tipple and Cole McCoy. So those are the teams. There's still quite a few drivers without a team for this season, but there you go, for those of you wondering what the team setup is for this season.
Popsu has jumped within a second of Vernux then with a 217.5, and Andreas Hayder, well, what a stunning run for him. There was me saying the Ferraris are not OP, and it's actually the top 3 that are Ferraris at the moment. Oh, we have a McLaren that's dividing the Ferraris. Oh, and he's gone drifting around the source. Very nicely done.
I mean, I haven't even throughout practice, I haven't heard of a single time in the 16s. That's beautiful. Not the fastest way. Oh no, he's gotten in the way of the BMW as well. As he's sitting on the apex for everyone coming through Puon at this moment in time. That's not going to help.
No.
As one of the Tiger Ferraris as well having to go around him off the track. So he potentially ruined 3 people's laps there. Did one time with that little spin. In terms of the session in general, though, he's doing a pretty solid job, sitting in 8th at the moment. York is dropped down to 7th now. Gronstra in 6th. Andreas Hayder, I guess that is in P5 at the moment, which is very solid considering he didn't score any points in the season opener. Then we have James, Stu, Popsu and Vernox in the opposite order of that in the top 4. Vernox doesn't even need to do anymore. He's still in the pits at the moment. 45 seconds to go in the session.
He was out. He was actually out at the moment. Earlier on.
Stu in pits. Yeah.
But that's his day done. He won't have it. There's only 30 seconds remaining. So, and Maisie, we haven't really looked at him in the Audi. Only in 15th. He managed a 7th position last time around Nimila. How does he finish then? Let's watch him come through the chicane and head down to the line. It's the last man on a lap. Does he improve?
Yes.
Up to 12th. So, wow, that Vernox was just unbelievable. 269.
That's incredible, yeah. Like I mentioned before, I haven't heard of a single person in the 16s throughout practice coming into this race either. So that's an absolutely stonker of a lap there from the championship leader going into round 2. And he will, of course, just like he did last week, pick up that extra 1 bonus point for the pole position. Stu finished 3rd last week, where he put himself. He's right in 2nd now, so could be an interesting fight to see if Stu is able at all to hang on to Vernox here. But based on qualifying, KK Vernox is absolutely looking the favourite for this race.
But again, as we saw last week, all it takes is one mistake for things to go horribly, horribly wrong. If you make a mistake at Blanchimont, you run that slightly bit too wide, you can generally keep your foot in it, but if you come across someone that is also doing 150 miles an hour, that is going to hurt. You go wide at Puon, that is going to cost you a fair amount of time. So there's still opportunities for things to go a little bit awry for the drivers.
Definitely, that will be very interesting. And of course, yeah, setup changes, as you mentioned. It could be that someone has set their car up, to be particularly good in the 2nd sector, where there's more corners, more direction changes. You have to have pretty good downforce there. Or if they've set it up focusing mainly on the straight line speed, which of course you also need around this track. So, yeah, compromises will have to be made on each of these driver setups. So that could also be a factor as we go into this race. Johan interestingly lining his car up in the middle of the track, wants the best possible view of what's going on ahead. He's just aiming. He's gonna shoot straight down the middle, I think, of a few cars there at the start, if he reacts so well enough. Would be interesting to see.
We better have a look at the front, no?
Yeah, because now it's of course up to the pole man Vernox to decide when to put his foot down to get round 2 of the AOR PC GT3 Elite League of Season 8 underway here at Circuit the Spa-Francorchamps. And here we go, the race has started. 5 laps of racing ahead of us. Vernox leading the way into the first corner with Stu keeping hold of that 2nd place behind. James up to 3rd, I think he was 4th before. Popsu has dropped down to 4th. Now they can hear a bit of car banging going on towards the back. Can't see anything at the moment though. The cars in view are looking well and fine so far. And up through a Rouge for the first time. 4 Ferraris ahead of 1 Mercedes. That is Gronstra having gained 1 position off where he started. And that is Popsu very wide off the track. Gronstra is going straight past 2 of the cars. Stu dropping from 2nd down to 4th place. James now up to 2nd place. Can Gronstra get him as well before they reach Le Combe? What a start for the Mercedes. And up into the podium positions.
What a great capitalisation on other people's mistakes as well. That McLaren got all out of shape, and he's still in trouble by the look of it. He's lost another position to War tyre. My God, he's alive. He's has he just gone slightly wide? No sooner do I say that. The exit of Le Combe and Stu in the McLaren has gone back through him. Oh my God, look at this, still too wide as they're coming down through turn 10. That is Yorkie. You see Yorkie and Hendricks actually together in those M6s. There they are. And still too wide, as you're seeing right there. That's Maisie and Jeff in the Merc and Audi, and there's also Godfather Schiff right in there in the Porsche.
That's a bit of touching as well.
3 wide. That's going to be painful if you're going to try that through Boan. And the camera's facing the wrong way.
Oh, there's still 3 wide, I fail. Oh my god, there's a couple of cars off the track there as well. Who was that? I think it was Maisie. It wasn't Maisie. Was it Maisie? I'm very confused.
I'm trying to click it.
Oh, no,
Jeff.
yeah.
Every time I tried to click on his name, it went further down the field. Where is Claessens? He's actually quite fair way up the field. There he is in that Mercedes behind the Porsche of, I think, it's Godfather.
Yeah, so that would be 11th, yeah.
Indeed. So
solid.
let's keep an eye on our leaders. Vernok's already breaking away. He's got almost a second, actually, on James, but he's got Perry Gronster all over the back of him. If you look, that is it. Whoops, Perry Gronster runs a little bit wide in the exit of Blanchimont. Now coming down into the chicane, very heavy braking. Very heavy car also to slow down that Mercedes.
Yeah.
So Perry Gronster really putting the cat amongst the Ferraris at the moment. Let's see how he's able to do. And we've already lost someone. I've just seen someone disappear from the bottom of the list. I don't know who that is at the moment. I'll see if I can work out. It's Hideaki, I think. Oh, we only have one. Yeah, that's Hideaki.
Yeah.
We've lost one already.
That's, of course, a shame for Hideaki. He didn't have the best of times last week as well. But he finished 12th. He had some points at least on the board for this season. But yeah, shame for Hideaki. DNF in this race. Our first, down to 24 drivers in the race. Now, though, up through Arouge. Gronstra, this is where he passed 2 cars on the previous laps. Let's see what the Mercedes have in store now with only 1 car ahead of it. Maybe a little bit of slipstream effect, but that Mercedes engine doesn't seem to be working quite as well as in Imola. In Imola, he definitely would have been ahead by now, coming into Le Combe. But both of these guys, you have to say, we're closing in on Vernex going down the straight as well. So the top 3 very close there, halfway through the second proper lap of the race. As he stands with James, who was, of course, one of the drivers who got disqualified last week for being a bit too naughty with the track limits. Hopefully he has sort of learned from that now and will be a bit kinder on that one.
Godfather's in trouble. Godfather's in trouble. He's facing the wrong way. He's having to correct himself. That's at the chicane.
There's a car in the pits there as well.
There's 2 of them. It's Jeff and Morvik, I believe. So Jeff we saw having problems early on. Morvik's in there as well. So that's one of the McLaren and one of the Mercs, and the McLaren's just killed someone's pit crew.
That's unfortunate. Hopefully we won't have to pay any insurance.
Oh, and Morvik's got a penalty for something now. Can we see what that penalty is for? Now, someone advised you can see it here. 10-second penalty for Morvik. That'll be speeding in the pit lane, almost certainly.
We are currently looking at Yorkie, who is up now to 6th position, getting 1 from where he started, I believe, Wantar. The car behind actually, so Stu is the car he's following ahead, and he's getting very close actually. Yorkie doing a better job so far in this race than what he did in the first round.
Yeah, Yorkie was in, just looking through the list, he was in 10th last time around, but a name to mention, Yuhan, he is up to 10th position from starting last. Is he 10th or 11th? Because Claessen's already ahead of him, so that must be no. So he's 11th. So actually, it's Claessen's that's currently in 10th. But the Ferrari did pretty well for a recovery drive. No doubt making a lot of positions early on due to a bit of wheel banging possibly going on, of some people suffering damage. But yeah, see, he's making a very good progress through the field at the moment. Still lots of cars close together. This top 4 still in fairly sort of session. Perry Gronster has made a mistake somewhere or set up not doing him well. That's such a good one to put him in the clutches of Popsu. So the Mercedes may have to think about being a bit more defensive. But it seems to be here that Vernok struggles. You see him building the gap. We saw this a lot last week in Imola as well. You see the gap being built in certain areas and being lost in others. So we'll see if Vernok is able to keep James at bay. The less than a second at the beginning of the Kemmel Straight. We'll see what it is at the end of it.
Yeah, let's see if James is able to close at all coming down the straight. Bit of slipstream effect potentially, obviously a bit of setup differences potentially as well in effect here. Both Ferraris, of course, and it did close marginally on Vernix into Le Combe, only 3/10 behind. He's had a much better apex there as well, going through the first part. Can he get a good exit to maybe challenge him down into Bruxelles? Not really a spot where we're used to seeing overtaking. You really need to nail the exit at Le Combe, and for the driver ahead to make a mistake as well. And so far, Vernox is hanging on, but this race is by no means over. Obviously, in Imola by now, Vernox did have several seconds of a gap because the cars behind were battling so much. But this time, James has no other cars to worry about at the moment after Gronstra fell behind, and all he's doing is to pile that pressure on the championship leader in the first part of this race. And yeah, it's looking very, very close at the moment at the front.
So will they see now that leads on? We're going to compress a little bit as Vernox seems to have set his car up for the more twisty bits as opposed to the straighter bits. So we'll still. Oh, and we've had a change for third. Popsu threw it on the inside of the chicane and is now claiming that third from the Mercedes.
That is pretty impressive there from Popsu up to third. Yeah, the Mercedes starting to struggle a little bit after the blistering start that Grunster had coming up Eau Rouge. And Yorki's made a move as well on Stu there for P5 in the race, up into the top 5 for the veteran Yorkie. And Rex, who has got Johan.
That's Johan.
No, that's Johan. So Johan's going to pass Claessens at some point, properly into the top 10 now. And
that's Maisie that's behind Claessens as well. So gives us an opportunity to check in with the rest of the field. So Rilo heading, it's Rilo and Wycombs heading down towards the source. Who's going to come out on top of that one? Ferrari's got the outside line. Can he get the power down in time? No, the Porsche just holding him off. But he hasn't given up on it.
Oh, they're going to be sun. I think Ferrari has got this before they reach Eau Rouge. Not really the corner where you want to be side by side, obviously. No. If the natural engine stuff is to be believed, then the Porsche should struggle more than the Ferrari on the straight here as well. So, yeah, good move there around the outside for Rilo to get past. Wycombs up into 13th position, and now we got side by side with Hesto and Andreas Hayder. Oh, Hayder has dropped down quite a lot actually. He was pretty good in qualifying, if I remember.
Look at that! I mean, that's the AMG as opposed to the SLS, I believe.
I think it's the SLS actually.
Was it? I can never tell them apart. So not only can I not tell them apart, I certainly can't predict where they're going to be. So I'll give up on that one. There is Zabzi in one of the Audis on this battle between Vernox and James. This is where Vernox has been slower so far leading to this point. So up Eau Rouge, let us see. On board with not that camera, that one. Ooh, that's ugly. But he's kept it together. Now we're going to see. We actually have worn tyre in the pits as well. We'll check up with him in a minute. He could well get this one done. Is he going to have a position leading into the car? It's going to be brave. No, I think I was quite wise. He was a little bit too far back to attempt that move safely. Oh, we have two pitters. It's Zamzu and worn tyre that have come in. That's
worn tyre from such a good. Oh, that's damage on worn tyre. From 8th position is where he was running.
Popsu was actually a full second faster than Vernox last time around.
Wow.
Interesting to see what their laps were. Bearing in mind that Vernox has had to make some defensive manoeuvres. 19.6, 19.6, 19.4. So of the three, Popsu is again the quickest. So he is bringing himself right into this mixture. Nip and tuck, as the English phrase goes. It's pretty like for like along the straight there, but it's in the twisty bits where their setup seemed to make the biggest difference. As James goes a little bit wide on the exit of Les Combes. Oh no, not into Bruxelles, surely. That would have been pretty catastrophic, I think, if he'd attempted that one. Some people do. Some people get a little bit too excited, especially if you've been following someone for on and on and on and on, and you then suddenly get an opportunity, even though it's not really an opportunity. You might try and take it, and you then compromise your race because you've just taken an opportunity that realistically isn't there. But Popsu realizing that, he's nailed. Is he going to try for something in the chicane? He's going to try and force James into a mistake, but that is going to allow Vernox to try and run off into the distance at the moment.
Yeah, this is exactly what the Vernox needed here. Similar story to last week, really, just a little bit later on in the race, that the guys behind battling for second place, slowing each other down a little bit. James is really starting to struggle now for whatever reason. Look how close Popsu is onto the back straight here. He's nearly pulling alongside before they've been halfway down it, and they're going to be side by side potentially through Blanchimont. James still's got half his car ahead. Is Popsu going to try to hang around? As I know, he slots in behind, trying to get a better run. James off the circuit there, and will have the inside line for the bust of chicane. Popsu braking so much later. Can he get this slow down? Yes, he can! Somehow getting it slowed down for the Apex to take second place with a brilliant move there over James.
What a move. He planned that one quite a long time in advance. He'd done the switchback on James on the exit of Blanchimont and just felt he had the pace to get it done on the chicane, and that he did. Now he's got his sights very much set on Vernox, but he's still got to defend from James. He's got a lot of pace in that blue Ferrari. He's going to have to be careful about the line he takes. 7/10
is the gap at the moment. I think you might well be right about James, to be honest, unless there is some kind of temperature problem that he's trying to manage at the moment. Could well be that he's got a little bit of damage, because I know as well, maybe he's tapped a bollard somewhere, because I believe the bollards can easily give the cars a little bit of aero damage as well. So that could be another potential theory for why James is suddenly losing pace. Popsu, where did Popsu finish last week again? Quickly on check. He finished 8th in the season opener.
He did.
So wasn't quite up there challenging with the best. But of course another one who had a very solid debut. This is his second race in the league. Same with the James, back in 3rd place as well. Whereas Vernox obviously has done quite a few more AOR GT3 races. Has been part of it for quite a few seasons now.
Oh, hang on. Let's get on board with the white Ferrari. No, he's not getting in quick enough. I just again saw the gap drop a little bit, which of course he would do. Vernox not. He's not had a good run. He's not had a good run through Lake Arm. He's now going to be really under pressure again.
Yeah, this is the closest Popsu has been, actually. What we are seeing at the moment. Oh, but then he goes and nearly loses it under braking into Bruxelles. He managed to keep pretty good control of it, considering how wiggly he was going into that corner. Hasn't really lost too much time. Maybe a couple of tenths there to Vernox. But yeah, this is when he's really starting to put the pressure on more than we've seen so far. Vernox still hasn't needed to go actively defensive though, since potentially right at the start of the race with James behind him. But
2:18.8 for Popsy last time around.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yorkie's got some company. He's found Barry Gronstra, so the Mercedes now under pressure again. So Yorkie could well be climbing up the field. So we were talking about Johan earlier on. He's got about half a second or so on Nismo ahead of him. But he's going to take a while to close that one down. But yeah, Yorkie is getting very, very interested.
Yeah, I think Gronstra might have had a little mistake, because he was 1.5 seconds slower on the last lap, and slower than all of the top 10 actually. I don't think that's quite normal Gronstra pace, but let's see what Yorkie can do on the board with the BMW closing on the straight towards the Mercedes, which we definitely wouldn't have said last week at Imola, but this time it doesn't seem to be quite as OP straight line speed, and Yorkie just trying to find any way through that Mercedes. It's so huge, he's going to have to do it under braking on the outside into the bus stop. He's gone later on the brakes. Can he slow it down like Popsu did earlier on? He's not quite hit the apex, but he's got the position there, has Yorkie up to 4th place in the race. Incredible stuff from him, and Gronstra will now be forced to try and fight back.
Well played again. Now, that is a common overtaking spot in those conditions anyway, the bus stop chicane. But again, that was very, very well played. Here we go again. He's very close as Popsu. This could be his opportunity then. It's been coming lap on lap on lap. He's going to be pretty close. I don't think he's going to be close enough at Lake Arm, but he's going to be close enough to make Vernox feel a little bit uncomfortable. Half a second, 18.9 that time around, 19.4 for Vernox. He'd lost half a second that time. So yeah, that's why Ferrari's going to be way too big in Vernox's mirrors for him to be comfortable.
Definitely.
Oh, that's Andrex. That's Andrex and Maisie. Oh, and then the background there, that's Hader and Relo. So yeah, we've got a couple of battles forming here. Maisie having to defend very heavily from the M6. It's coming into Lake Arm. He's not got a can. Andrex hang on to that position. It looks like his job done. Well played. Oh my goodness me, that was close.
Was indeed. Let's see how the guys behind have sorted themselves out. The Relo seems to be the car ahead.
Hader's in trouble.
Oh.
Yeah, Hader, I just saw Hader's lost position. He's now down to 14th. As Hesto has just gone past him as well. So he had problems at Lake Arm. Brought that particular battle to an end. Maisie's not given up on Andrex though. That battle's not done. And we have this battle for the lead still going on. Looking up and down the field, as tends to happen. I was actually expecting this battle a little bit later Oh, Vernux now is going to be feeling really the pressure. Again, he's always had a bigger gap at this point. So as they come through the source, as long as Popsy just keeps his line, he'll know that where he's got the pace on the yellow Ferrari ahead. And again, he's lost a couple of tenths, down to just normal times of acceleration. But now is going to be the time, I think, when that white Ferrari is going to start really getting into a lead challenging position. Let's see how they come through. Oh, Rouge. Oh, he hit that very hard, but he's kept his foot in it.
Here we go. He's closing.
He is. It's going to be side by side before they get to Lecom. There he goes. And Vernux didn't choose to defend it. He's going to be side by side. No, he wasn't. He wasn't alongside enough. Well played by both drivers. Yeah, again, Vernux had kind of hoped that he wasn't going to be alongside enough to challenge. Oh, no, not Cell, surely not. Oh.
That's the second time it looks like he's gone for a pretty audacious move into there. And we've gone pretty mad because we can already see just at the start of the move that that's not going to work out for Popsy there. But yeah, he was really close to going into the Lecom that time. Just not quite brave enough on the brakes, I think. And Vernux taking the perfect line, just leaving a little bit of room in the apex while still keeping the momentum through the corner as Popsy was briefly off the track through Puhon as well. So he's really, you just see how hard he's pushing with these small mistakes, but that might be what is necessary to get close enough to Vernux.
This three-way battle here, that is Claessens, Andrex and Maisie. This is 4, 8th, 9th, 9, 10, 11. Oh, Andrex, goodness me, he's getting very, very interested in that Mercedes. Is he going to get that maneuver done? Oh, my goodness me, side by side, heading down towards Puhon. One corner too early. Oh, he's got him. Well, very nice driving by the M6. Maisie now going to have a think about the inside maneuver into Puhon. Mercedes having none of that. Goodness me. I was just looking at the time, he's thinking, oh, they're getting awfully close. Oh, what's going on here?
Oh, no, wait.
So, I jumped to Popsy there because his delta was showing a negative figure. I was like, well, you can't be doing that because you'd be in the lead, surely.
Oh.
It showed -2 tenths there, so I'm just going to jump back to Maisie because the Popsy and Vernus will sort themselves out along the Kemmel Straight. We'll jump back to them in a minute. So is Maisie going to have a crack at Claessens? Claessens very wide on the exit of Stavolo. It does look like the Mercedes is able to keep the Audi behind him at the moment. And he's not quite got the straight line speed to deal with that Mercedes. That's going to be a dive into the bus stop chicane. I'm keeping an eye on the timings on the stop screen. There goes the Mercedes either jumped out of the way or stuck to the racing line. Maybe he realised he wasn't going to keep that close. Oh, there's a couple of tenths between the Ferraris. Oh, and that's the end of the Kemmel Straight. So no, again, Popsy denied. Another crack of the lead. And no, Johan and Nismo.
Oh, my God, it's happening everywhere.
That's Gronstra, the foreground of the shot, so he's going to be involved in this battle pretty soon.
Yeah.
Oh, surely that's going to be Johan flying past Nismo. Can he hold on to it into Lecom? He's hung on to it at the moment. Yep. I think Nismo realised that one was gone and chose not to battle it, but again, he was 1.3 seconds, Johan, quicker than both Nismo and Perry Gronstra around him. I mean, if you can ever say you're 1.3 seconds quicker than Perry Gronstra, you can have a big smile on your face.
Yeah, 3 different cars going at it. The BMW, the Audi, and the Mercedes spins. Claessens loses it, just going through Bruxelles there, having to do a little donut to get the car facing the right way. He is still going to be in 11th place, I believe, because Rilla's too far back.
Nearly 2 seconds quicker than Perry Gronstra last time around was Johan. Surely then this is going to be a fairly straightforward manoeuvre. Just at the foreground, the background rather, we saw Yorkie's BMW. So with only
and Gronstra has felt the need to leave room there. Kind of jumped out of the way for Johan. Got a little bit concerned about Johan dive there, and Johan's actually made that work. I don't think really, if Gronstra just held it line there, that Johan would have been able to make a mistake. Oh no!
Popsy's made a mistake. He's 5 seconds down from lead.
Oh, with damage.
He's made a mistake somewhere. Oh, he's got and I wonder if him and James have had a coming together because James is still behind, and he was only a couple of seconds behind Popsy, and he's still 1.5 seconds down. Popsy's made a mistake. That lead battle is done, it would seem.
That's a shame, obviously not for Vernex, but for the action in this race. I mean, the midfield still providing plenty at the moment.
Johan's already built a gap there, look.
Oh yeah, Johan's looking absolutely blistering. I think he has got 5th in the bag. Will he be able to close 4.5 seconds on the Yorkie though? I would doubt it, considering the pace that Yorkie's been running the last couple of laps. But Johan, like I predicted, is looking good for top 5. Oh, and that is Gronstra off the apex, and Nismo getting incredibly close. Gronstra going the opposite way to last week when he had to make that lovely comeback, try and drive up into 6th position. This time he is now in 6th position and looking to drop down potentially with Nismo, and actually Stu as well, not far behind. So Gronstra really struggling with this Mercedes at Spa at the moment. Nismo nearly pushing him through Blanchimont, coming into the bus stop, and look how close Stu is. Where has he come from all of a sudden? Come to the inside, is 3 wide into the chicaneous contact. Gronstra staying well out of the way there. Stu touching the back of Nismo, still stays ahead. Stu drops back behind the Mercedes. What is going on in this battle for P6?
James is starting to get interested in Popsy. Popsy's lost all his pace. Whatever that impact has caused, it has utterly ruined his pace. 2:26 last time around. That looks like it's going to be an easy pass then for James, and it is indeed. So James now has inherited. Oh, Vernex! Vernex has made a mistake.
Oh.
He's lost. He's now down to just a couple of seconds. I thought I heard a bit of a clunk then, so I wonder if Vernex has clunked into the wall. We've got 5 laps to go. So I thought the lead battle was done. No, not yet.
You never know what will happen in these sort of races, where there's so many factors playing in to these drivers, and obviously pretty long race as well. Concentration issues potentially leading to the mistakes. Unfortunately, they happen off camera from Vernex and Popsu, and James, of course, back into 2nd place. Will he have the pace now, though? Has he recovered some pace towards the end of the race there, especially with Popsu and Vernex potentially now having a bit of damage as well? It definitely looks like Popsu has some. I couldn't really visually see any on Vernex's car. But yeah, we really have to look at the pace over the next couple of laps. It's only 5 laps to go.
Yorkie could get a podium here. I've just looked at the time.
Wow.
Sorry to cut you
Look
off,
at Popsu. Yeah, he's dropped even more time.
Yeah, Popsu was 2 seconds just under slower than Popsy was just under 2 seconds slower than Yorkie. There is 4 seconds between the two with 4 laps to go. Yorkie could do it.
Yeah, I would not rule that one out for sure. If Popsy's damage is as bad as it seems to be at the moment, and Yorkie is still going at a pretty solid pace. That is a little bit off the track there for James, who is still about 1.5 seconds off Vernex, so similar pace so far on this lap at the moment. Vernex, I guess, doing a solid job, you have to say, to sort of recover from the potential slight loss of focus that he had to make that little mistake.
Look at that! He's already got him! He's already caught up to him! Popsu has... Look at that!
Oh, he's just flying past
Popsu
him.
had nothing. Absolutely nothing on Andrex then. So the M6... Popsy's gone to the...
Yeah, he's given up on it.
You saw that side angle. Everybody winced. So that is not a surprise.
Yeah. I mean, he's gotten even more damage than when we looked at him last.
He lands in 4th. My God, what a recovery! Talk about recovery drives. He's in 4th. I'm not convinced he's going to claim Yorkie. 4 laps to go. 4.5. No.
Not if Yorkie continues the solid pace that he's got at the moment.
We will see. We will see what pace he has left in that M6.
Yeah.
But people are, as you said earlier, it is a war of concentration. We will see what mistakes are still to happen. Yep. Stu goes a bit wide.
So of course, just to point out, everyone of course now gaining a position from Popsu being in the pits. Be interesting to see where Popsu filters back out again. Villo had quite a gap to the car ahead, I believe. Now Rillo's also going to head Popsu's down to 13th position. He's still in the pits. So I think he might well be race over in terms of points there for Popsu, which is such a shame considering the run he was having, challenging for the lead even in his 2nd race in AOR. So that is a bit of a heartbreak there for Popsu.
This is what it looks like from Jeff. Oh, one of the Ferraris. Who's that? It's Andres Hader ahead. I wonder if he got a bit out. Whoa! Well, that's Relo getting very, very out of shape. He's going to have to back off. This is going to get awfully close coming into the bus stop side by side.
Surely not, surely not. Oh, oh my god, there's a car backwards.
Oh.
What was that? What's that for a position? Was that Claessen's? Check Claessen's. It was.
Oh, well spotted. It was Claessen's that's now fallen down to, that'll be 13th position he's now fallen to.
Jeff's teammate, I assume, considering they're running same livery. Oh, and look, he's looking at the battle here. Hayter having another go at Rillo. Ferrari versus Ferrari into Lecombe. Who will be bravest on the brakes here? Hayter slightly later, but Rillo keeping the apex nicely to keep the position. And God, Jeff, thank you once again. Trying to stick his nose in there to pick up the pieces, but the three keep staying in the same order as they were originally.
And Perry is in the pits from 7th.
On the penultimate lap on the race. Oh, and he's retired.
He's out. Oh, my goodness me. From 7th, so that's Andrex downwards, all gaining position. Oh, our commentator cursed it by saying we haven't lost anybody for a while.
Has he run out of fuel then? I mean, I know he was struggling for pace, especially in the second half of the race, but I don't know why you would go into the pit and retire. As Claessen's as well is in. God, 3 points for a lot of people here. As they're going to come past the pit lane, going to get 2 positions. Everyone who was behind these two. So, yeah, this battle moves up to the battle for 7th now. Andrex ahead of Macy still. Andreas Hayter moves up. Oh, and Rillo's dropped behind both Hayter and Jeff actually. Down into 11th now. So
where's our leader? Where is Vernox? He's just coming through Stabilos, so not too long to go. He's got 1.5 seconds back to James, so that should be comfortable for him. Maisie is running out of opportunities to try and keep the pressure on Andrex if the camera will kindly keep up. Jeff and Andre Hayter side by side. That's it. Oh dear, he's getting a bit.
He wasn't too fancying that Ferrari being ahead of him, really, it would seem. But yeah, let's go to Vernox. I believe he's now coming through the bus stop chicane. He is indeed, and he will take the win. 2nd week in a row, 2-2 for Vernox, who's looking on fire this season. Takes the win in round 2 of the AOR PCG GT3 Elite League of Season 8 with James, a very close second.
Yorkie is going to be ecstatic with this, I imagine. Coming home to take that podium position. Popsu is going to be pretty sick, I would imagine. Challenging for the lead, and sadly it not coming out. Yorkie, big old flash of the lights, and why the devil not? What a great recovery drive for Yuhan, coming across the line in 4th. Nismo in the sister 5 Aces Esport. They're going to pick up a very nice haul of points here. Him coming across the line in 5th. Stu in the McLaren in 6th position. Andrex is still fending off the Audi.
Maisie has got one chance there. He's going to have to do it on the brakes.
And there he goes. Is Maisie going to be able to do it on the very final lap? No. Oh, well positioned by Andrex. Kept it very wide on the entrance of the bus stop chicane. Now, surely the Audi can't.
What's on the grass?
Oh! Maisie may have a few words to say to the valiant Scotsman on that one, and that's people parking on the outside. Why the devil not?
Donuts, woo!
Jeff in the black Mercedes, the lone black Mercedes, coming across the line in 9th. Relo, God, he really did fall. He fell behind Jeff in the end. So 10th position for Relo. Then Andreas Hayter comes across the line in 11th. Hesto in the blue Mercedes will. No, there's the lemon Lambo.
Oh, go on. Bit of contact there with Hesto actually in the battle for what is now 12th in this race. So yeah, the Lamborghini has found some pace there at the end.
Yeah, it depends whether the Lambo still has that 50-second penalty to serve or whether it's already been done, because he was in the pit a very, very long time at the time. Oh, White Cops just fending off Colonel McCoy for that 14th position. Then Popsy's already stopped. He's a lap down. And that is the race complete. It does look like Nick Meader is actually classified as 13th position.
Ooh, let's get some donuts on the go. Love this. This is one of my favorite new things with the project cards for this new game, that I can control the cars after the race and just celebrate or crash into things or just have some fun once it's finished.
Why the devil not? Well, what a race!
Vernox, James Yorkie, the top 3. Johan, Nismo, Stu, Andrix, Maisie, Jeff, and Villa also in the top 10. You got Andreas Hayter, Heston, Meter, Wycombs, Cole McCoy, and Popsu picking up at least 1 point after Gronstra and Claessens retired late on in the race. So that was a really good race in my opinion. I really enjoyed it.
It was. It was. I mean, we did kind of think that, oh, maybe the Ferraris are going to run off and then it's going to be a steady race, but it really wasn't. There was action going on everywhere.
It really was. So I won't actually be here next week.
You're leaving me to steer the ship on my own. Are you mad?
Only just remember that. Yeah, I am doing a certain interesting thing, which means I'm not going to be at home. We'll get back to that, but feel free to follow me on Twitter at FaceIf91 to get more news on that over the next week. But
Awesome.
Gonna be interesting. So yeah, I guess it'll be up to you then, KK, to take care of the stream next week, which means that surely it will be on your Twitch channel as well. So feel free to go ahead and plug that now.
Yes, it will be on Ranger Carrot 1980. I shall bung a link in the chat for those who are watching live. So that is where I shall be broadcasting the AOR coverage next week for 1 week only.
So as usual, it's been a pleasure having you in the box.
It is always an honor to be alongside the god of AOR himself.
And yeah, thanks everyone once again for watching. Good
See you
night.
then, and good night.